Hi everyone, I'm Meredith and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so excited that you found me, and if you're returning, I'm so grateful you've decided to come back and watch more. I love all things luxury. I love luxury shoes, I love luxury handbags, luxury lifestyle and vlogging, and if they're things that appeal to you, I hope you'll do me a massive favor and hit that subscribe button down below. Hitting that subscribe button costs you absolutely nothing and means an awful lot to me, so I hope you'll help me out. Today I wanted to do a video around my favorite luxuries that I cannot buy. So these are the things that I consider to be luxurious in my life but aren't purchasable, and sometimes they're in very short supply in my life, but they are my greatest luxuries. They're the things that I truly savor when I get them, and if I could buy them, I most certainly would, because they are like just, they have no value, like you couldn't put a monetary value on them. They're worth so much to me as a person. So I thought we might talk about that, because we always talk about all the luxury things that we purchase and the things that we can buy and that luxury houses put out, but in reality the things that are most luxurious to us tend to be things that you cannot buy. So I think I've chosen 5, and there might be some wild cards in there as well. So let's talk about the things that I think are luxurious in my life that I cannot buy. So let me preface this by saying that I am lucky enough to have healthy, happy children. I am lucky enough to have healthy, happy parents as they age. I have a fabulous husband, and I have a wonderful house and property that I love, and I have a successful company that I own. So I am grateful for all of those things, and the company especially allows me to have all the luxury materialistic items that I have. So I am grateful for that, but I work very, very hard for it. So these are things outside of those things. So yes, of course, having healthy children is a luxury for some people. Having parents still alive is a luxury for other people. I understand all of that, but I'm stepping outside of those things because yes, I am grateful and I recognize that I am lucky to have all of those things. But let's look at a few other things. So one of my biggest luxuries in my life for me is calmness or silence. So I am very, very, very rarely completely calm or silent. I very rarely just sit with my own thoughts, with nothing else going on around me, where I'm doing absolutely nothing other than just sitting there. That is just incredibly rare for me, but it is one of my biggest luxuries. So on the weekends, we will generally get up, and if it's a great weekend, we'll do it Saturday and Sunday, but most of the time it will be one of those days. I will get up, I will stay in my pajamas because I have nowhere to be, or the things that we've got to do are later in the day. My husband will go down to McDonald's. Yes, we drink Macca's coffee every day because we like it. He will go down to Macca's and get coffee for us, and he will bring it back. If anyone's interested, I drink a half strength flat white on almond milk. And I will sit in my chair in the lounge room with my coffee, and I will just sit. And if I can't do that at some point on my weekend, then I find that I don't function as well the following week. I need that downtime, whether it's half an hour, whether it's an hour. If it's a really great weekend and my kids are calm and they're happy to go like just entertain themselves for a little while, I can sometimes do it for a couple of hours, but that time for me is my biggest luxury. That whole ritual we have on the weekends where I get to just sit and drink my coffee in peace is my biggest luxury. Sometimes I'll be doing other things. I'll be watching other people on YouTube. Dale generally puts out a video on Sunday when I do, so I'll watch her first thing on Sunday morning. Depending on who's had a video up, I've got an ongoing list of videos of like 70 videos on my to watch list at any given time of fabulous YouTubers that I love. So I might be sitting there watching them, but it is just quiet, calm time for me, and that is one of my biggest luxuries in this world, and something that I can't buy and that I don't get enough of. So that's my first one. My second one is time. So time in general. I always feel like there's just not enough time, and that time as I am getting older is just slipping away from me. So they say when you have children that the days are long and the years are short, and oh my goodness, is that not the truest statement ever? So as my children are getting older, I am finding that I have lived through some of the longest days of my life when they weren't sleeping, when you're feeding, when you're changing nappies, those early years of having children. And I had 2 under 2. I was an insane person, don't recommend it. And they were such long days. You feel like those days are never going to end. You are so tired. But those years went by lightning fast. Like, it was so quick. And now I look at, like, I'm in August and I'm like, where did the year go? And I'm coming into Christmas and we're talking about Christmas. I'm like, but I just had Christmas. Where did it go? So I find that as we are getting older, you just lose time so quickly, and everything, you're just on this constant treadmill of work and keeping your children alive and doing all the things that you need to do, and you just lose time. And you never just stand still and go, wow, like, okay, let's just soak this in, because you're always on to the next thing. So time is such a luxury to me, because I just feel like there's never enough of it. And if I could buy time, it would, if I could buy any of these things, time would be the first thing that I would buy, because I just want more time. I want more hours in my day to get things done. I want more hours in my day to enjoy the things that I have, the people I spend time with. Time is the greatest luxury in the world, and there's just not enough of it. So that's my second greatest luxury that I cannot buy. The third is travel. I think that travel is so important. I wish I had done more of it when I was younger. I started to travel at 26, and I have been lucky enough to see many parts of the world that I love. I have not seen enough of it. There is so many more there are so many more places I would love to go, so many more things I want to see. But at this point in my life, I am able to travel, but in short bursts because of my children. As they get older, I will take my children with me. We're already looking at a trip to Finland to stay in Santa's workshop for Christmas, and that will be a whole experience, and I'm really excited at the prospect of doing that with my kids. But yeah, travel, you get more out of travel than you get out of owning a handbag or a beautiful trench coat or a lovely scarf. Travel will give you insight into who you are. You learn so much about yourself when you travel, and your resilience and your ability to adapt and your ability to think on your feet and just enjoy the surroundings and what's presented to you in the country that you're in. I think it's just such a learning experience. You get so much out of travel, and it is such a luxury, even at the basic level of a cruise or a Kentucky tour, which are luxurious for everybody. They're not cheap. There's not really any travel that is cheap. But if you want to leave the country, it gets even more expensive, especially here in Australia, because we are an island. To go anywhere is a long way, other than New Zealand, and I love New Zealand. So it's always a luxury because you need time to do it and you need money to do it, but the experience itself is such a luxury, because you learn so much in doing it. So you learn about yourself, and you learn about where you are, and you learn about a culture, depending on where you go. Even if it's Western culture to Western culture, you're still learning about different things. So I think travel is such a luxury, and I will highly encourage my children to do it early. In a world that tells us that we should own property here in Australia, I will encourage my children to put their money into travel, and I will fund that as much as I can for them, because I think you just get so much out of it, and I wish I'd done much more when I was younger. So travel is the third luxury on my list. The fourth luxury on my list is a contradiction to that, and it's home. So for me, being at home is a real luxury. So I'm home today, it's a work day, but I'm at home. I'm checking my emails from here so I can film and get things done. My children are at school. For me to be at home and to not be frantic with, okay, let's get lunches made and kids into showers, and then let's do the bedtime routine and the constant treadmill of life. It's a luxury for me to just be home and to feel at peace, which I do in this house. We have moved around a lot in the last few years. We've lived in several houses in several years. I think at one point my son had lived in a different house every year of his life, and we have finally settled on the property that we're on, and I get home and there is just this release in me, and I go, even if I'm in that nighttime routine and it's crazy and I feel like I'm on the treadmill, I am still much more peaceful at home because I love my house, and it's like walking into a big hug. So that's a real luxury for me. For people who travel for work, you probably feel that as well. I don't travel for work, but you would feel it more, I think, if you spend a lot of time away from your house to just be home and be at peace. And I think if you have a house that really makes you peaceful, then you're really lucky to have that. They say home is where the heart is, and that's very much how I feel in this house. And I've had houses where I haven't felt like that, where it's just been a house and it was just another piece to getting to where I wanted to be. So yeah, home is a real luxury for me. And if you have a home, you are so lucky in the first place, because there are lots of people in this world who don't have homes. We have a huge housing crisis in Australia. We have a rental crisis in Australia, where everybody is paying exorbitant amounts of money to live, and then for rent or their mortgage. So there are lots of people who don't have homes. So it is a luxury to have a house in the first place, but to have a house that you love and that makes you feel peaceful is a true luxury. So I'm grateful to have that. And my last luxury is kindness. I feel like we live in a world where there's not a lot of kindness anymore. So when you come across it, it really is a true luxury. And I think that's probably a really sad reflection on society, that kindness is seen as a luxury. It's not seen as a given anymore. It's like, it's one of those things that happens, you go, oh, that person was really kind to me. Like, it shouldn't be like that. Everybody should be kind, and you should notice more if somebody isn't kind than if they are. So I generally think that I'm a fairly kind person. I mean, I'm sure everybody thinks they're kind. And I'm sure there are people out there who would go, she's not kind. But I think I am generally a fairly kind person. I go out of my way to learn about people and listen, and then I translate that into when I'm giving them gifts, or when I'm talking to them later, I draw their attention back to the fact that I was listening to them, and I try and be kind in all areas of my life. There are times in business that I can't be kind. I have to be something else because that's what the situation calls for. But personally, I believe I'm always kind, and I am always really drawn to people who are kind also. I think most of my sales associates that I deal with in the luxury environment are really kind people, really kind, caring people, and that's why we gel so well. The YouTubers that I have made friends with here are all kind and caring people. There's Dale from Dale's Addiction, there's Connor from The Closet, Deb from Wild Unfiltered, Lisa from Luxury and Life in the Middle, Amelia from Amelia Rose's Closet, there's just, the list goes on and on. Winnie from Winnie BLV, Gwenny from Style by Gwenny. I will link all of these people down below. I feel like they are all incredibly kind people, and that there is a connection there because of that. And I'll link a whole heap of YouTubers down below that I feel that way about. But there is this gravitation towards other kind people, but it is such a rarity. It is such a rarity, and kindness can be nothing more than somebody drops something with their arms full and you pick it up for them. Like, it can just change a person's day. If they're having a bad day and you just say the smallest thing to them, like, oh, I really love the top you're wearing, or you know, oh, that makeup looks fantastic on you, or you don't need to know them. It's not creepy. Like, don't feel like you can't do that because you don't know someone, because the simple act of saying to someone, I really love your top, it can just make their day so much better. And it's an act of kindness that you don't even know that you're being kind, But for them, it could change their whole day. They could be having just the worst day, and having someone compliment them just changes their whole day around and makes it so much better. So I really feel like kindness is the biggest luxury that we have, and that it's free. It's completely free to be kind, and that if we tried harder to just do one kind thing a day, nothing more than complimenting someone or telling them something nice about themselves. Being verbal in how you feel about someone can be seen as a really basic act of kindness. Like, I really love you. I think you're a fantastic person. I think you are just, so smart and so considered in everything that you do. And I really love that about you. Like, that's doing nothing more than lending speech to thoughts that you already have in your head. But that person has received that information and it has made them feel really good about themselves. So I think if we lent speech to thoughts more often, especially nice thoughts, then it would just pick a whole heap of people up. So I'm all about kindness, and I think if it's the biggest luxury and it's free and we can give it without getting anything in return, but it makes a difference to somebody else's life, then I think that's really important. So that's my biggest luxury is kindness. So yeah, they're my five biggest luxuries that you cannot buy: time, calmness or silence, depending on which way you want to look at it, kindness, home, and travel. So they're all the things that are the biggest luxuries in my life, and that if I could pay money for them, they're the things that I would buy, because I think they're probably the most important things to us. Beyond that, I think there's lots of other luxuries that, a good coffee can be luxurious, a good meal can be luxurious, sitting on the beach with your toes in the warm sand can be luxurious. There's lots of basic luxury experiences and things out there that we can tap into that really don't cost anything but can be really hard to come by. So I think sometimes it's important to sit back and look at all the amazing things we have, and I am most certainly surrounded by stunningly beautiful, expensive, luxurious things in my life, but none of them mean anything without the other things that I need, like my family and my company, and these 5 luxuries that I cannot buy. Not sure if this video is going to go anywhere or if anyone will resonate with anyone, but I thought it was important to do that so everybody could see that I recognize that there is luxury outside of those materialistic things that I buy, and I really do. If you've liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below. It means a lot to a content creator when you hit that subscribe button. Please also hit the little bell notification so you know when I've uploaded videos, which is usually 3 times a week. I'll also throw up my Instagram handle for you so you can come follow me over there. I put lots up in real time, lots around my collection and my day-to-day life, so please come follow me over there. I hope wherever you are in the world today, you are having a fabulous day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.